imps mistakenly believed that this slaughter was our doing. One day, Rednose, leader of the imps, suddenly appeared and sent all the goblins. I don't blame Gear for resenting them for that. I need to give my report to Captain Cliff. I don't blame Gear for resenting them for that. I need to give my report to Captain Cliff.
It seems things here have grown dire while our attentions were on the stone chamber. I need to go alert the princess of the situation immediately. Don't worry. I'll carry word of your deeds to her ear. You will be rewarded handsomely, more so than that Eden fellow.
Why don't you go visit the skill instructor Armstrong for the time being? With just a little polish on your basics, you'll make a fine mercenary.
Obsession with one's heyday is for the ordinary. Oh, a recommendation from Officer Fania herself, with a note that you could do with learning a few more skills. The more skills you learn, the stronger you will become. Keep checking from time to time on what new skills you are able to learn. The more skills you learn, the stronger you will become. Keep checking from time to time on what new... The more skills you learn, the stronger you will become. Keep checking from time to time on what new skills you are able to learn.
Eden's living relic! You should have sent word you arrived. We're just about ready to send you off with a proper funeral rite, spoons and all. Would you have preferred a wooden spoon or a metal one? Would you have preferred a wooden spoon?
Spoons, Luffy. You know quite a lot about foreign customs. Hiding a secret lover from the land of the morning calm, are we?
Ahem. We've been granted an audience. Let us not keep the princess waiting now.
I suppose we'll find her in her tent, where she always is.
This tastes horrible. Did you really think I would eat this garbage?
Princess, we are not in Heidel anymore.
Ugh, whatever. Just finish the job and go home. Do you know what allows Lord Jordine absolute rule over Serendia? Faith. I too demonstrated the capacity for good faith when I sent you off, and your favorable outcome is proof that my faith in you is rewarded. Does this not make me a most favorable counterpart to his lordship? Am I mistaken, my dear Roig? I place my faith in your good judgment as well, though those results currently seem my wagon of the finest Calphionian craftsmanship in pieces. The black stone. Do you think I poured out such funding so that you could go dig up these worthless pebbles?
Apologies, Your Highness. As speculated, the depths of the chamber indeed held black stones, but what we found was merely the empty remains of the stones, after the black spirits sealed within had consumed all of their power.
You don't look like an addled half-wit. Cut the spiritual nonsense and speak with some sense. You're professionals, are you not? You are being paid as such. With that payment comes the expectation of results, not half-baked excuses about spirits. You think these results will welcome me into Lord Jordine's strong embrace? Must I be ever haunted by the shadow of disappointment I'll cast across his chiseled face? Ah! Get out! All of you! Never show your faces here again! Do you think I poured out such funding so that you could go dig up?
Apologies, Your Highness. As speculated, the depths of the chamber indeed held black stones, but what we found was merely the empty remains of the stones, after the blacks.
You've lost your memories, haven't you? Congratulations on your first castigation. It can be a burden to earn a living at times. Though it strikes me as odd. I heard all the black stones excavated in Serendia are being shipped directly to Calphion. Why, it's this Jordine fellow making his own fiancée aid another nation in gathering black stones.
Since there aren't any black stones left in the stone chamber, I guess it's time that we set off for another excavation site. One possessed by a black spirit may briefly gain great power and wisdom, but their ultimate fate is to succumb to its darkness and become a monstrosity. I pray you remain on the right path, for anything so easily gained can also be easily lost.
Stop scaring them, my boy. Keep your mind and body sharp. Stop scaring them, my boy. Keep your mind and body sharp, and there's nothing to fear.
From our first encounter, I knew there was more to you than meets the eye.
If you live as long as I do, you become quick to spot these things. I have a proposal for you. What say you to working for Her Royal Highness, Princess Jarette? I have a proposal for you. What say you to... I understand. Go seek out Captain Cliff. He will take into consideration your efforts in saving the soldiers from the imps. Then...
We are currently tasked with finding the source of all this chaos. He suddenly appeared one day and kicked all the goblins out. Now, so, you've ingratiated yourself to an officer, and I think you've greatly overestimated the value of your so-called skills. And I'm afraid Officer Fania's eye for quality soldiers has greatly diminished. I think you've greatly overestimated the value of your so-called skills, and I'm afraid Officer...
Without your aid, this would have been quite the bloodbath indeed. I think Captain Cliff will definitely reconsider his words. Let's use this momentum to track down Red Nose. He won't be able to deny your importance this time. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. However, we still don't know much about Red Nose. A few days ago, some of our soldiers encountered Red Nose. Not everyone made it out, but perhaps I will be waiting here. Word's gone round the camp that the imp expert will soon arrive.
His nose was so incredibly red. I was patrolling the northern forest when I felt it when I turned around. I saw an imp the size of an house. I knew boy, that imp was strong. He pulled out a sword as big as I am. He was pretty agile too, considering his giant physique and all. He sprung at me like a frog. I nearly died that day. I reckon, look, if you want to find out more, go to the blacksmith. I heard he cleaned up the Look, if you want to find out more...
Defense is survival. Don't hesitate investing in armor. The armor? Useless after the beating it took. I disposed of it. But whatever odds and ends I found at the scene, I put in a box. The armor? Useless after the beating it took. I disposed of it. But whatever odds and ends I found at the scene, I put in a box. The armor? Useless after the beating it took. I disposed of it. But whatever odds and ends I found at the scene, I put in a box. The armor? This? Huh. What's this doing here? This belongs to one of our rookies, Murray. But he wasn't on... The armor. Useless after the beating it took. I disposed of it. Ah, but whatever odds in it... The armor. Useless after the beating it took. The armor. Useless after the beating it took. I disposed of it. Ah, but whatever odds and ends I found at the scene, I put in a box. The armor. Useless after the beating it took. I disposed of it. Ah, but whatever odds and ends I found at the scene, I put in a box. The armor. Useless after the beating it...
No, that's not mine. You've got the wrong idea. I had nothing to do with that. I was off duty, heading into Velia. They've got this. Anyway, I spotted an imp wandering alone, sort of drunk. Well, this is rather embarrassing, but I flicked him on, and the ground started to quake beneath.
You started this whole commotion, and you didn't even have the dragon eggs to report it. You'll face a military tribunal for this. You started this whole commotion.
It was all Mare's doing then. Looks like I'll be taking up extra shifts. Huh. I'll think about that later. Let's move on to... Huh. I'll think about that later. The important thing now is distracting the imps. The imp expert has constructed a trap to... You're up for the task, aren't you? Deal with some of the imps here first, then follow the path north.
It's you, the living... Look here, I've caught a useful prisoner. Exactly how is a trade secret. You've got that shocked expression on your face again. Ready to be really blown away? My prisoner is an...
I told you, I don't know where the boss is. Our boss comes and goes as he puts...
Hey, Eden told me that you are an expert on this. Why don't you...
No one knows where the boss's hideout is.
Then I shouldn't have wasted my time capturing you.
Do you think I knew I'd get caught like this? Ah, look at the brains on this beanstalk. And you think us imps are stupid? Red nose or blue nose, the beanstalk asks, without even thinking to ask about Tiny Nose.
Oh, Tiny...
What? I said nothing. Imps are extremely loyal to one another. Red Nose will defeat Gieth and... Wolf meat?
Well, the chef might.
Tiny Nose is always down at the cave. Tiny Nose is clever. His beanstalks give delicious cooked meat.
There must be more to it. I must let our...
I will look for traces of Red Nose near that cave over there. You should be Tiny Nose. Ready to be really blown away? My prisoner, ready to be really...
Shush. Shush. You need to lower the voice.
You have found the right place if you're looking to check in horses and donkeys. You can either capture or...
Some beetle wings, parasitic bee lava sauce, and let's see, a drop of imp's tear, and then... Oh, this happens every single time I try to make rouge. Oh, welcome.